I'm really excited to show you. We somehow managed to pull it off. But it's been
Good evening, everyone. You can slowly start coming to the front because we'll start the event officially in a few minutes. There are a few seats. I think we have around 80 chairs, so it should be enough.
I mean, but yeah, for you to be saying that, yeah, it's great for us.
yeah, because I get actually.
We can be reclusive. This is great.
Yeah, I get passionate.
Don't be shy. Come to the front. My next guest is not only beautiful, but she's also known from movies as Jawan. She's worked with Shah Rukh Khan, with Salman Khan, and is the lead actress of Lakadbaggha, aka Akshara D'Souza. Please welcome with me on stage Ridhi Dogra. And as they say, save the best for last. We have our guest of honor here tonight. He is an animal lover, action icon, producer, and now first honorary director of PETA India. Welcome, John Abraham. So before I continue with all of my questions, because I have a lot, I'd like to also invite on stage the publisher from Own Books International, Ajay Margo, for a few introductory words.
Thank you, Sukmani. Good evening, everyone here. It is an absolute honor to welcome you all to this official launch of Lakadbaggha, the prologue, birth of an animal lover Vigilante comic book universe. Let me begin by expressing my heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Mr. John Abraham. John, your passionate advocacy for animal welfare and your powerful cinematic presence align perfectly with the spirit of this book. Your presence this evening means a lot to us. I would also like to thank the stellar cast and crew of Lakadbaggha, especially Ridhi Dogra and the team for joining us today. Your on-screen chemistry with Anshuman and your brilliance have already captured hearts. Your support here tonight shows the strength of this story beyond cinema. Thank you very much. And lastly, to the creators Anshuman Jha and pop culture. Thank you, Anshuman, for dreaming of this comic book universe and enriching it with your powerful words and storytelling. Big round of applause. Special thanks to Brittain Peck, whose bold, edgy, visual storytelling has added a stunning new dimension to the Lakadbaggha universe. Big round of applause. When Anshuman first spoke to me about this idea, it wasn't a pitch, it was a calling. A story where action meets empathy, where a hero fights not for glory, but for those without a voice. I remember him saying, "This is not a superhero story, it is a human story." That line stayed with me. Thank you, Anshuman, for offering us to us. At Own Books International, we always backed stories that break new ground, and this one does so with heart, grit, and imagination. Thank you to Crossword Bookstore for hosting us today, and to each of you here for supporting a new kind of hero and a new kind of Indian storytelling. Here's to Lakadbaggha and the protector we didn't know we needed, but now can't do without. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to pass the mic to Sukmani now.
Thank you so much. So, John and Anshuman, both of you have adopted dogs. I would just like to know where does this love for animals come from? Where does it come from?
I told Meenakshi, I couldn't think of a name when I was thinking who's the ideal person to launch this book. Because so many of us talk about animal welfare and raising a voice for the voiceless, but there are few people who act upon it like you do. So thank you for being you, and thank you for standing up for something, and therefore you don't fall for anything, which is a blessing for, and it's inspiring. My love for animals, Sukhi, again, like John said my parents, my mother especially, she let me be in nature a lot. So when I was a kid, I played in mud a lot. I was born in Allahabad, so there was a king cobra there, and in our house, which nobody had seen. And one day, I was at the gate, and my mother was coming in. So she was getting off the car to open the gate, and she just froze. And I was 5 years old, and I felt something really cold slither over me. And I looked down, and it was that full-grown king cobra, and it just went over me. And then I was curious about where it lives, so I chased it, and my mom was not very happy about it. So since then, I have had this thing with especially wild animals. And I've always had dogs at home. So the love for dogs is something that goes, it's spiritual for me, if that makes any sense. Like, I like taking, I feel like it's the least I can do as a human being. Yeah.
I love that so much for being here. I think I've always loved animals. I haven't grown up with animals, but I started living with animals, I think, in my 20s. And at one point, there was a hen in my house. There was 2 cats, 3 dogs. Like, there were just a lot of animals, and I think that's the best way to live. They sort of teach you to coexist, and I think we all need that in the kind of lives that we live. So, when you ask them, how do you love animals, and my answer was, because there's humanity. So, if you're human, you will love animals, and if you just want to live closer to nature and you just want to live closer to, मतलब अगर आप अपने roots के साथ जीना चाहते हैं, अगर आप अपने value system के साथ जीना चाहते हैं और एक इंसानियत के साथ जीना चाहते हैं, you will love animals.
That absolutely makes sense. Yeah. Thank you. And Brittain, what is your relation to animals?
Oh, thank you for everybody coming tonight. It really feels like a dream for me to get to join everyone here today and to have come so far. Still sinking in that this is real, but and big thank you to Anshuman as well for even asking me to join him in this journey. And so I just want to say that really quick. But currently, probably my closest relationship to animals is my 9-year-old son came home in the States. We have these state fairs, and you can win a little fish as a prize. And he comes home with a fish, and so now the family has a fish. And everyone tells me, oh, those fish live for 3 days. Don't worry, you'll be flushing it down the toilet pretty soon. And we've had him for 7 months, I guess. And we've named him. I take care of him every day. And I love coming up to his tank. And he's a little fish, he relies on me to feed him. And he gets excited and he starts wiggling. He's either excited or hungry, I don't know. But just that moment, where I talk to him. And his name's Kobe, like Kobe Bryant. My son loves basketball. So just that moment, it's there's another life that's in front of you, and it just reminds me that there's something bigger. That I'm, ultimately not too much different from this little fish, and he got deathly ill for weeks, and so I'm googling and spending lots of money to figure out how to save this little fish, but it was worth it. The family's happy, and he's still a part of our family, and so that's probably my closest relationship right now.
That's cute. So, just to quickly sort the mic situation, there are 2 mics there. Briefly already outlined why you invited John Abraham being the honorary guest here. Absolutely makes sense. It's about animals, action, innovation, logic. And now, coming back to you, John, you are very selective with the time you invest in events or in social gatherings. Why did you take out the time tonight to be here? What makes this event important to you? Please put on the mic.
Yeah, that's good. I came here because we got a call. I read the book, I saw the film, and I really appreciate what Anshuman and his entire team have done, which is why I'm here. It's as simple as that. There's no long drawn answer for this. Through an entertaining medium, he's tried to give a message out there to a lot of people that you need to love animals and that they coexist with you. You don't own this planet. And I think that's something we've forgotten. So I think he's got every message so rightly in such an entertaining way in this film. So congratulations to the director as well, Victor. Victor's not here, and congratulations to Alok. It's so well written and the messaging was fantastic. So well performed by everyone, so well illustrated. So I think we're in the right place, and I'm happy that I'm here. Just really happy that I'm here. Grateful.
We're also very happy. You're not alone. All right, so I got a sense of where your love for animals come from. Now I quickly would like to do a quick question. I want to know your favorite comic character, your favorite animal, of course, what else? And then also your favorite action movie, starting with you.
Very interestingly, me and my director, I mean, he's written a comic book called Monkey Man, and we're going to be doing that film. So that's interesting that we speak about it. His name is Abhishek Sharma. I've done a film called Parmanu with him. Very smart, intelligent guy. So we're working on something very interesting, and that's because I love animals, which is why we're doing that. And
I love that.
yeah, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, let's see how it goes.
Okay, so that'll be the fave action part, then like fave animal. The monkey man? No, but not dogs.
I honestly, I mean, at the risk of saying so, I'm an agnostic. I'm practically an atheist. But I believe if there's God on earth, it's a dog. That's my personal belief, and I worship them. I worship every animal, and I look at an animal and I see what I could learn from that animal, especially dogs. They're survivors. They are so gracious. They are so benevolent, and they're still so kind to you even after you're so cruel with them. So honestly, I'd say the dog. The dog.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew that. That's why I was like, I know, I did my research. So, Anshuman, what about you?
Favorite animal is hands down monkey. There's something with monkeys, and since I was a kid, I am a huge Hanumanji connection. I don't know how, where it comes from, but it's there. I was picked up by a monkey when I was a baby. I was again 2 months old, and it picked me at our native place in Darbhanga. I don't know if I've ever told you. So and I always find a way with monkeys. And funnily, Lakadbaggha 2 is called The Monkey Business. So we are going to have a monkey sort of connection there, and I love that. My favorite action movie? That's a really difficult question because I have lots of them. But if I have to pick one, it would have to be the Ong Bak franchise. Ong Bak is, I think, it kind of set the bar for what action can do, raw action, real action. Was there a third question?
Yeah, it was favorite animal, fave action movie, and fave comic character.
Comic character, my favorite comic character, I'll take two actually, that I grew up and I told Britain that I want Lakadbaggha comic books to be in the world of Chacha Chaudhary, because that's what I grew up reading, and Tintin. Those were the two comic books. So if you see the art, we've kind of given a lot of homage to Tintin. In fact, the very first page, the ship, for those of you who read Tintin will see the homage. So yeah, those two.
Thank you. What about you, Brittain?
Favorite action movie? I'm trying to think of blanking on that one right now, but I'll stick to Lakadbaggha. Easy.
Comic.
Favorite comic character? Probably Miles Morales. I was thinking Spider-Man because Spider-Man to me just coming as a kind of an answer or a response to superheroes who are so powerful and just sort of these authorities. Spider-Man was just a kid, and I really like how they've taken even what I thought was a great character and made it all anew. And one of my favorite things about Miles is that he's really is just a kid, and you never forget that he'll be late for a school assignment, or he'll be worried about his parents while he's fighting a criminal. And my son, when he watched that movie, he wouldn't take the mask off. He would put the mask on and watch the film like 3 times a day. So when I saw that, I realized that Miles is a very powerful character. The other question, I'm sorry. Oh, animal. I'm thinking about an animal.
Fish?
Kobe's very special to me, yes. Although I was thinking about if I were to ever see an elephant in real life, just the power and I love that they're vegetarian. I love that they're just so strong. They seem to form relationships with people. I would, like John was saying, I would love to see an elephant and see what I could learn just in that moment.
Thank you so much. And Ridhi, does the mic work by now?
Can you hear? Yeah. For me, it is an elephant. I think that's where my mind went first. Dogs, cats, I love all of them, but they're domesticated. But we make them a part of our life, and then it's just easy to coexist with them. But an elephant really makes me very emotional. Whenever I see an elephant, or I see how, they're so large, but there is so much wisdom there, and they seem to be very humble. They give you that impression.
They have such human eyes as well.
Yeah, most animals do. Action film, I love Deadpool. I love the humor. I love the action. I've seen every Deadpool film, and I like to watch them alone because I just love it. It's just too much fun. And what's the third thing? Comic. I think my mind is going to Tom and Jerry. But,
True, mine too. I just realized. Thank you. All right.
I don't need to tell you why I like Tom and Jerry. All of it, I love it.
Yeah, even my childhood memories are connected to it. On Cartoon Network, was it, right? Yeah, even I remember. Wow. All right. So now that you have like an idea who we have here, not only like as people but also their background, I want to understand, Anshuman, like where did this idea for Lakadbaggha, the story, come from? It's based on a real life incident, like stuff that's happening in the movie actually happened, and like what was the moment that you decided, okay, this needs to be a movie?
Check. Yeah. So, two parts to that answer. I was coming back from Prithvi Theatre. I was performing a play there, and I saw on that road which goes towards Sun and Sand and all, there was a security guard beating up a dog with a stick, a stray dog. And in a moment, I didn't think. I got out the car and I went, grabbed the stick from him, and whacked him. I had never hit anyone in my life till that point. Okay, this is 2013. And when I told him, मत मारो मैं मारूंगा, he said कुत्ता है, इंसान को आप नहीं मार सकते. That really made me think that why does he think he's more special than that? So I think that was the sowing of the seed, because when I look back, backtrack my life, I feel I wrote the opening scene, the first 10 minutes of that film about the action. Yeah, I wrote that just as a scene. I didn't know where it'll go. And then when Alok came on board, I told him this is the opening of the film, now write the rest of the film. Incident had happened in Kolkata in 2019 where it was the Times of India front page news where during Pujo, biryani, there's a competition in shops. They sell it 30 rupees a plate, 25 rupees a plate, 15 rupees a plate, 10 rupees a plate. You can't sell chicken mutton biryani in 10 rupees a plate, right? So there was this journalist who did this he tracked it down and they were selling dog meat. So BMC, the local bodies were helping them pick dogs, and when they were the municipal corporations of that city. And that triggered this takeoff idea for Alok, which he developed. And then in 2020, during COVID, an Indian striped hyena was spotted for the first time in 15 years at Corbett. So there had been no natural sighting. So from there came the idea that what if the central animal being kidnapped? And then Victor, I was always looking for a title. And Victor, we were shooting something in Arunachal Pradesh. We did this 3,000 kilometers drive and shot something through Arunachal. He said, Lakadbaggha. And I'm very instinctive with titles. And I said, that's a great title. And that's how Lakadbaggha, the title came. And then the hyena kind of aligned. And, then the film developed. Alok took a year and a half to stitch it together. Lots of arguments, lots of deadlines, met, lost. But eventually... we got there and we shot the film, and yeah, that's the whole idea. Is with any work that we do, if you just see the 5 films we've produced, I mean, applause is great, like we work for people too, but my idea is that you should not just applause. For me, if it makes you feel, that's more important. So it should touch you, and then sure, if you get engaged, applause for it, great, but touching you is, it should do something feeling wise to the audience. And with Lakadbaggha, that was the thing, that if you're human, you got to feel for, and like, I don't understand when I meet people who say, yeah, I don't like dogs. And honestly, till now, I haven't figured out how to process that feeling, How can you not like dogs? Being scared of dogs is different. I'm saying people who just say we don't like them. So, and I have met a lot of them. So that was the heart of putting the story out, that They exist, we exist, we got to respect them if we want to be respected, otherwise nature will take its revenge.
And Ridhi, what of Lakadbaggha making?
Met me and he was so passionate about his story, and I like to work with, I don't really look at a lot of things. I like to be able to go on a set and have fun, and I like to work with people who'd be invested in me. Like if you're going to have me on a set and be like, yeah, okay, you're around, but I want people to be excited about me being there so that I can contribute to your vision. And he had that, when he came and met me, I just felt like I have to do this with him, like he's so excited about making this film, and I love animals, and this was an opportunity for me to be able to be a part of a story that's sort of saying what it is. So it was all him, that energy.
Yeah, that energy I agree with. He's very passionate.
No, but I want to say something, and quickly I'll add. With Ridhi, it's been 22, 23 years now since I started assisting. I was 16 when I started, and I have, worked with the top actors as an assistant, done big films, big ads, and then acted in 15 films. There is something so honest and authentic about her on set, and it's such a pleasure to have an actor who's wanting to tell her, who's not worried about her part, but actually is worried about what the film is going to express. You know what I mean, right? So it's very rare, mind you, that I see that. And it's therefore a lot of joy to be working with her because she's really invested in a film when she gets there. Not before, not after.
So share a story. You're laughing about something specific, I feel.
She's always late. So it's a banter between us. She's like, once I get there, I'm fully there. And I've made peace with it. 15, because I'm always on time. So I'm like, but I've made peace with it.
This is not, please don't talk about it.
No, but
It's
she's,
fine. Today
jokes
you're
apart, she more than makes up for it in her passion for what she does, in her presence, and she's just an incredible artist. He's clapping, he agrees.
That's
Clapping, that's it. That's all the reward that matters.
Alright, so yeah, being part of the movie, I feel like it also changed you, Ridhi, in a way. Because basically movies are also produced to make people aware, to have a societal impact, and you are one of the best examples how it worked out.
Sorry. So I was shocked to know that they actually were using dog's meat instead of chicken, and I freaked out so badly. I stopped eating non-veg for a while, for a year or so. I'm sorry, I've gone back. I need to take training from both of you to know how, because my trainers keep telling me you have to eat protein, so I want to give up, but yeah, I'm not able to. But yes, I did stop eating it completely because I was like, there's just no way, and I'm still actually very aware. I feel like I could easily give it up. Maybe I need to do a part 3. I didn't do, so yeah.
That was a very smooth segue. Yeah. Alright, I want to come now back to the action part because Anshuman, everything you were saying, all I could hear is like you're looking for excuses to beat up people. So I feel like the action part of the movie is also very big. Tell me something about how it was training with Mr. Shamesh.
So, yeah, the thing was that I have no false ideas. I think the least an actor, as a human being, anybody can do is just be totally honest with themselves. So I would never do Krish, for example, because I cannot be Krish. Physically, I'm not that. So when we started doing this film, we were very clear that it's a story of an ordinary boy. And being ordinary, in my view, is a superpower. So we wanted to depict that in a real way. And I said, how will this look real? The only way it would look real if I actually learn to do what Arjun does. So I said, I'm going to take 7 months off and go and train my butt off in this form. We identified Krav Maga because Krav Maga is hand-to-hand combat to kill, actually. The Mossad uses it. Sir knows all about it. And I said, who's the best person on planet Earth to teach Krav Maga? So we researched and we came to this gentleman who trained the Mossad, and that was Sahi. And his father, before him, had trained Mossad. So Sahi had been training in Krav Maga basically out of his mother's womb. So I went to New York. Actually, I wrote him a letter first. I wrote him a handwritten letter saying, we're doing a film, And how we work is we said, this is what we can do, please help us, and I'll give you all the time you need. No shortcuts, you tell me when you have time, I'll come and do it. He replied immediately. Within 2 days of getting the letter, he wrote me a long mail and he said, come to New York in 2 months. And I went there and I trained with him for a month. And I'm telling you, I was living in Brooklyn in an apartment. So when I would take the tube, he was very insulting. Sahi is not a soft man. So he would keep kicking me and say, my grandmother fights better than you. My great grandmother. He's there. He's like, he's going to teach you. But he's also very soft. So when I would go back in the tube, my brain started proceeding. Anytime I would see a big guy, I would think about how to get this guy down. You know, what are the ways if he's to attack me or if he's to attack an animal? Because I was thinking the film and the action. And he taught me these basic, Krav Maga has basic body parts, right? Which your Adam's apple, your nose, your crotch. Places where you hit and the psychological recovery takes a few seconds. And that's where you can cause maximum damage. So, yeah, that was exciting because I've always been an action film fan. I've always loved animals. And this universe allowed me to bring the two together. Then we wanted an action director who hasn't done, like India, I thought let's give them something new. And Ong Bak came to mind and I reached out to Kecha sir, Kecha Kamfakti, and he's amazing. And he came on board and we all trained and that's how the action materialized. And now in part 2, what he's done is something, it'll be the first time. We've done hand-to-hand, but we've really amped it up.
And like John, you being the icon of action movies, did you also train with Mr. Shamesh? Like, do you also have some stories to share?
No, I mean, we do a bit of action here and there, but speaking about his action, I really enjoyed watching him. And when you root for your hero, so when I was watching, I was like, beat them up, beat them up, beat them up. That's when you know that, your hero is working, the character is working, Arjun Bakshi is working, and Anshuman's working. So it is a nice combination watching all of them. And, a lot of people can train. You can go to the best trainers in the world. Finally, what you do is what you see on camera. And I think he's projected that really, really well. I enjoyed. I love action. In fact, I saw her fight and she really whacked him in one shot. And I was like, wow. So I think, putting in hard work always shows on screen and they've done a fantastic job. And I'm really excited about part 2 because I know he's going to set a benchmark here and I'm very excited to see it.
If I've got a compliment for action from you, that's it.
Obviously, yeah, a round of
That's
applause.
it.
You'll sleep very well tonight, that I know. And like when you watch others' action, like as you're also very well technically trained, do you notice like the technical details, or you're just in the flow and
I'm an audience. I'm an audience, and I tell you, he knows this as well as I do, and the audience knows this. If you don't have the right emotion, your action's never going to look great. The emotion that backed his action was fantastic, which is why we were rooting for him. So after a point, you don't really look at the technical details, though you are impressed by it, but you're waiting for him to beat the bad guys up. It's as simple as that. So I'm not going to get into the technicalities, but I really enjoyed watching Anshuman.
Sorry, the German he had to ask.
Ich spreche ein wenig Deutsch.
Oh mein Gott, ich bin beeindruckt.
Aber jetzt, ich vergesse alles. Ich studiere vor 4 Monate in Mumbai. Yeah.
Okay, this is my highlight. I'll also sleep well tonight. Okay, very impressed. I'm speechless. Yeah, no. I'm done. Yeah, könnten wir eigentlich, but no, it's not fair to the audience. Später, ja, später. All right. So now, segue to the comic part of things. Like, I want to know, Brittain and Anshuman, how did you meet? Brittain, from your perspective, because it's a random story to me.
Oh yeah. So I was involved in a scholarship program in school, and we have a
school. Which school?
Oh, okay. So it's between Duke and University of North Carolina, and
Ivy League, by the way.
And so we have annual alumni get-togethers, and I'm from the inaugural class of the program, so I'm always the old man. When I go there, there's always younger people, and so I kind of bounce my way through the room and see all these impressive young people. And so I was doing that, and in the back of the room was Anshuman and Sierra, who was also in this program.
Sierra, by the way, is Anshuman's beautiful wife. She's also a Duke scholar.
Yeah, I've got nothing to do with Duke. Yeah, just hashtag, just saying. I went to Xavier's in Bombay. I would love to go to Duke, but I was quietly sitting in a corner at this alum dinner.
And the quietly sitting in the corner is what brought me over to them. They looked like a nice couple, and so and they were eating, so I was looking for somewhere to eat too. So I went over and we just started talking. And I was first. You mentioned the energy that Anshuman has, and I have to say, even before any comic book was mentioned or what I do for a living or anything like that, I really just was enjoying. If this comic book had never happened, I think I would have made a friend that night. So. Yeah, it was a really, he's just a great guy to just sit down and eat with. And but that's not all that happened. We started talking, and he told me about Lakadbaggha and shared a way for me to see it. And yeah, I was sold from there. And yeah, we immediately, I think we started pretty much working from.
It was serendipity because at that time the idea was in my head, the comic book. I had not thought of illustration. I had spoken to Alok only. About the fact, and I had spoken to the team that I'm thinking of a comic book, this is the idea, it'll be the prologue, it'll be before. But it was just serendipity how I met him.
And where does the idea come from, comic? You've mentioned intuition. It wasn't a strategy in general, right? It wasn't
not at all, not at all.
A movie, a comic.
I don't know how many films of Lakadbaggha will happen, but I do know that the comic universe vertical will live till we live, and hopefully beyond that by like-minded people.
What can we expect now after this launch? Like,
so,
what is the vision?
Thank you for asking that. This is the prologue. So what you see in this comic book, which will launch today, sir will launch today, is what happens before the film. So the film opens with violence at Khidirpur Dock. That's the voiceover. In this comic book, you see what happens in Khidirpur Dock. So it's kind of the origin of where Arjun Bakshi got into the news from. Then the film, Kolkata chapter, the comic book will have 2 books, which will be book 2 and 3, which will be the Kolkata chapter, which will not just be the film, it will be a lot more. There'll be origin stories of each character, Akshara, there'll be a lot more to it. And then part 2, which we've just finished shooting in Indonesia, will be 3 books again. So book 4, 5 and 6 will be the Indonesian chapter. And then part 3 currently is in North America and South America. It was in North America, but I happened to accidentally meet the president of Chile, and he offered very kindly to shoot the film. So now I think part 3 will also be South America. So
do we already know which animal it will be based on?
Oh, that I won't tell you.
Okay, I'll have a wild guess. I'll keep it to myself though. Talking about the future, and now coming back again, like to the birthplace, I would say, of Lakadbaggha, the love for animals. Now that you're first honorary director of PETA in India, what change do you want to bring to India? Like, what are the initiatives you're working on right now, and what change would you like to see? Also inspiring the audience who do not have like such a huge platform as you to incorporate reducing animal cruelty. You don't have to love them or be fans, but just not be cruel to them.
I think, so there are 2 parts to it. From the entertainment side, I'd like to see, and it's a selfish reason why I'd like to see Anshuman make his part 3 and 4 and 5, because there's a noble gesture behind it. So I'm rooting for him. So I'd want that to happen, that's for sure. From the curriculum side of it, kids that grow up and maybe are 4, 5, 6, I'd want animal sensitivities and to be put in the curriculum of schools, because that's where you learn from. So I'm hoping that happens. It's as simple as that. You're ignorant, and like Anshuman correctly said, I don't even care if people don't like animals as long as you don't hurt them. So that's important. So if you can bring that in children, it'll be nice, because if parents are ignorant, then maybe children can teach their parents. So we're not faulting anybody here. We're just hoping society gets a lot more sensitive.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Sorry. I'd like to quickly add, the comic book also helps because, see, this will be read by kids. So what happens is, then from a very young age, like I grew up reading things like heroes from Mahabharata and people who were righteous and fighting for what's good. So then that kind of gets conditioned in your mindset as kids, and then you are a lot less ignorant for the macro things in life. Uh, so that's also one thought, that this comic book will, the film sure, but the comic will reach to a younger generation as well.
And Brittain, how was the creation process of the comic book?
I would have. Meet her. Can I meet her? Yes, of course. Yeah. But when I'm back.
Did you get a chance to see it? Yeah. What? Thank you. I loved it. Very, very nice. But I'm very emotional about it. I'm outside. I don't show you that much, but I did very damage to it. Yeah, so I have personally adopted it for their life. Oh, I'm sure. And your love shows for. And the big ones are VFX. The ones in the scene that they like now. Yeah, that's totally. So I tie up with this Santacruz and they rent in Russia. With the machines there are so much better. So the second part is about the Hi. Oh, you did? It's so good enough for me. So good. Come sit in the middle. We'll keep you in the middle. Yes. Why don't we all shift to one side? No, no problem. I saw the film. It was so lovely. I was so British.
And I saw Diplomat. It was very good.
Oh, thank you.
Recently saw it.
It's amazing, actually.
Thank you. Yeah. Fantastic. And I read the graphic.
You did. Thank you.
I thought it would be easier to read the book, but I'll be honest, the comic book was tougher.
Yeah. Because you can do so much, right?
I'm continuing
Yes, yes.
with the second part of this.
So it's what you saw in the film.
Sorry, it's just how I'm brought up. And it's got Anshuman, who's the lead of Hong Kong 1 and 2. So in terms of martial arts, we kind of got realistic. In that film, we kind of got I love it. The second one, I'm really excited to show everyone. It's really